31 entries, 7 levels. This is an iceberg of the most terrifying and disturbing things you can find on the internet. We'll begin with the strange and gradually uncover some of the most horrifying and deeply unsettling stuff along the way. Let's start at the tip of the iceberg. Level 1. Bill Meade. Bill Meade was a YouTuber who uploaded his first video to the platform on the 30th of June 2014. This was followed by a series of non-stop uploads that shared an unsettling similarity: a low-budget, static filming style paired with heavy religious themes.
Now here's the difference. For all that's in the world, 3 things are named. The lust of the flesh. Ever know about that? So many people do. The lust of the eyes.
As the uploads continued, something strange became apparent. Over just 4 months, Meade grew visibly weaker. Despite the odd video titles, most of his content was centered on his spiritual journey and devotion to God and Jesus. Then, in one video, Meade disclosed his deteriorating health, a cancerous tumor that started as a toothache and could hopefully be treated with surgery.
As you've seen some of my videos, and I do hope more of you will, you've noticed a man, not so young, but with a swollen jaw on the right side.
His uploads continued as his condition visibly worsened, leading to his final video on October 21st, 2014, ominously titled 10-Hour Surgery Tomorrow. The description of the video was a request to his viewers for prayers for himself and his medical team. The video itself has no audio, and there's no way to exactly know what he says in it. After that, the channel went radio silent with no more uploads or updates. It's widely believed that Bill Meade sadly didn't survive the surgery, leaving behind a legacy captured in a series of YouTube videos. Level 2. The Hawaii Missile Scare. Amidst heightened tensions between the US and North Korea over nuclear weapons, a Hawaii Emergency Management Agency employee accidentally triggered an emergency alert that caused widespread panic across the state. On the 13th of January 2018, the Hawaii Emergency Management Agency issued an emergency alert prompting people to take immediate shelter. The message, stating "Ballistic missile threat inbound to Hawaii, seek immediate shelter, this is not a drill," was enough to make people stop and run for their lives. What's even odder is the fact that the government of Hawaii did not release a follow-up statement confirming or denying the alert for the next 38 minutes. The people of Hawaii were understandably hopeless and desperate. Naturally, this created uncontrollable commotion amongst the residents and tourists alike. People ran for shelter, some in flip-flops, while others called loved ones in despair. Residents described the situation as hopeless, spending those agonizing minutes fearing the worst and hoping for military intervention. After 40 minutes of literal hell, a second alert from the government finally declared the initial warning a false alarm, stating, "False alarm. There is no missile threat or danger to the state of Hawaii. Repeat, there is no missile threat or danger to the state of Hawaii. False alarm." Following the incident, a combined military investigation was carried out. It was revealed that the incident stemmed from a miscommunication during a routine drill. The employee responsible for sending the alert misunderstood the instructions, believing the scenario was real. He reportedly failed to hear the part of the exercise explicitly identifying it as a drill. The individual was later dismissed from their position. Thankfully, no one was physically harmed during the uproar, although the false alarm definitely managed to expose vulnerabilities in the state's emergency alert system. She's still sleeping. Timothy Birmingham. Timothy Birmingham is a food reviewer on YouTube known for his simplistic and down-to-earth videos. For the most part, Timothy comes across as a wholesome man enjoying life and filming himself eating food.
Hey everybody, how you doing? It's Cooking with Timothy. Tonight gonna be having air-fried pork chops.
However, in January 2017, things took a darker turn when he uploaded what seemed to be a routine vlog. The video began with Timothy filming his wife Penny apparently sleeping soundly in bed. He then left the room, remarking on how unusual it was for her to sleep so late. Turning the camera to the clock, he showed it was already noon and commented that Penny would typically be up by then, either on her computer or busy with something else. What he sadly didn't realize was that his wife had passed away last night, and he was basically all alone in the house. Throughout the rest of the video, he went about his day and was seemingly completely oblivious to the heartbreaking reality. Although the original video is now understandably on private, he does occasionally mention his late wife and has even uploaded a tribute to her on his channel. Drachenlord. Drachenlord is a German YouTuber who was mostly unknown outside of Germany before his controversial behavior online made him the target of excessively abusive trolls. Drachenlord's entire lore is what some might call a mixture of tragedy and dumb decisions on his part. The primary focus of his channel, at least when he had just started, was metal music, and he gained overnight fame for his intense headbanging. Unfortunately, not all fame is good, and in his case, most of it was really bad. Drachenlord was known for being outspoken and opinionated about things he did not have much of an idea about, and that's exactly what got him in trouble with the trolls. He was generally unliked by the public, and they unfortunately took their dislike to an unprecedented level, going as far as doxing and harassing him. His own decisions that followed weren't much smarter either. Drachenlord would actively threaten, insult, and challenge trolls to come get him at his house, even going as far as sharing his address. The entire property became a target for trolls. They dubbed his house the Dragon Bunker and turned vandalizing it into a game. They egged it, threw garbage inside, and even smashed his windows with bricks, calling it Dragon Games. Things kept spiraling out of control for Drachenlord, and he was clearly losing a part of himself to this very unwanted and cursed fame. His mental health deteriorated to the point where he began carrying sticks and randomly attacking unrelated people. He was exponentially spiraling down, and his content reflected that. Over the course of his controversial career, Drachenlord was arrested multiple times, leading to a 2-year prison sentence. He lost government and personal opportunities, ultimately hitting a dead end. Eventually, he was also banned from streaming, was forced to sell his house, and had to move away. He now lives a quieter life, but does occasionally run into trouble with haters. While Drachenlord himself may not be an entirely sympathetic character, the harassment he endured cannot be justified. Level 3. Jacqueline AIDS.
Hi guys, I'm Jackie.
Jacqueline AIDS, an esthetician from Paradise Valley, took her love bombing a bit too far when she was arrested at the house of the man she's been stalking, taking a bath. According to reports, AIDS had met the man, whose identity is kept under wraps for privacy reasons, on a luxury dating app called Luxy that allowed rich people to meet and go on dates with each other. The two exchanged a few texts and then finally went out on a date. Apparently, the date wasn't as successful as AIDS thought, and the man told her to not contact him again. For some reason, she took that as a sign to send the man over 65,000 texts over the course of the next few months. She was constantly stalking and bothering him, and even went as far as to threaten him on the very texts she considered a profession of her love. She reportedly told the man she was going to bathe in his blood and wear his fascia and skulls and bones. Her threats became increasingly more violent. She even went as far as saying she'd make sushi out of his kidneys and chopsticks out of his bones. Ultimately, though, when AIDS was finally arrested by the police and consequently interrogated, there was definitely something not right with her. Her interview was riddled with contradictions and unpredictable statements.
So the rest of the equation is L equals 3.3. L equals 3.3 times E equals MC squared, and that's the equation of eternal love.
She told the police she had no intention of hurting the man she loved, but also stated that she was going to do it if he ever left her. She was under the impression that they were in a fully committed relationship, with her even going as far as calling herself his wife. Her interviews clearly showed deep-rooted mental health issues with AIDS. As a result, when she was evaluated by mental health professionals, they confirmed that she was incompetent and ultimately her charges were dropped. What AIDS thought was her magical happily ever after turned out not so magical after all. Robert Fulton School Exploration. Urbex Hill is an urban explorer known for going to the creepiest, most dangerous-looking locations alone. While he does occasionally come across some pretty unsettling things, his trip to the Robert Fulton School takes the cake for being one of the most horrific and frankly dangerous encounters on his channel. The abandoned Robert Fulton Elementary School in Cleveland, Ohio is known for being a hotspot for plenty of criminal activity. The school building is fairly massive, and it's absolutely no surprise that it's filled with squatters and the homeless. What Urbex Hill didn't expect was such a hands-on experience with one. In the video, you can see him casually exploring the building and sometimes panning the camera at ominous writings on the wall. Something along the lines of warnings that say, "Don't explore alone." However, at the end of the video, Urbex Hill hears a strange sound from the distance, some sort of shuffling that startles him. He follows the sound and comes across a makeshift room covered with a yellow curtain. When he pulls the curtain aside to peek inside, he hears an absolutely horrific, chill-inducing shriek that evokes the YouTuber's fight and flight, and he instantly runs away. The voice continues for a few seconds until Urbex Hill is out of the man's private space. The YouTuber is visibly shaken as he runs down all the stairs and tries to exit the building as fast as possible. He ends the video by adding a clip from his exploration footage, clearly showing a man in the shadowy area of the building walking across one of the rooms. Intruder caught on camera. During the peak COVID months, a TikTok video went viral for all the wrong reasons. It was uploaded by a woman named Hannah Viverette, who had no idea her ordinary day would take such a terrifying turn. Hannah's TikTok channel was her creative outlet, often featuring videos of her dancing as a form of expression. On November 22, 2020, she was filming one such routine when she glanced at her balcony door and froze. Standing on her balcony door was a man in a red shirt trying to make his way into Hannah's apartment. Like any reasonable person, Hannah panicked and demanded to know who he was. The man muttered something in Spanish before chillingly asking, "Am I your friend?"
Please get out. No, please get out.
Things escalated as he opened her door and began stepping inside. Hannah, thinking quickly, grabbed her camera, told him to leave, and ran to her neighbor's door where she called 911. The intruder was identified as Angel Moises Rodriguez Gomez, a resident in the building across from Hannah within the same apartment complex. After the incident, Hannah recounted previous encounters where Rodriguez Gomez had made her and another woman in the complex uncomfortable. She also recalled another incident from a few months back when she had found a maintenance notebook lying by her couch near her front door. She said she found it in the middle of the night and it spooked her out so much that she took it to her building staff. Unfortunately, the only thing they could do at the time was change her locks for peace of mind. In hindsight, it was clear Rodriguez Gomez had likely entered her apartment before and had left behind subtle yet horrifying evidence of his presence. Rodriguez Gomez was eventually arrested on multiple charges including stalking, burglary, and property destruction. Despite this, Hannah chose to move to a new apartment, a decision no one could blame her for. Manukau Tungiavalu baby abduction. A parent's worst nightmare became a reality for this New Zealand couple in 2017 when they woke up to find their newborn baby missing in her cot.
My 11-day-old baby daughter had been taken.
Just 11 days after the birth of their baby, the couple went through hell when they realized their daughter had been kidnapped. Fortunately for them, the entire crime was captured on their backdoor CCTV camera, and it was as horrifying as they had feared. The footage revealed a woman wearing a balaclava sneaking into the house through the back door. Moments later, she reappeared with a baby in her arms and a bag filled with stolen items. According to reports, a few hours after the kidnapping and robbery, the couple's evening nanny made a commotion to alert them of what had gone down. Police were immediately called and a massive search operation was launched. Fortunately, the baby was found within hours and safely returned to her parents. 19-year-old Sydney Tolapapa was taken into custody, but the investigation revealed a shocking twist. The mastermind behind the kidnapping was the very nanny who had alerted the parents of the robbery in the first place. 21-year-old Nadine Faye Manukau Tongiavalu, who had been with the couple for just 3 days, had reportedly been acting suspiciously for months. She had been fabricating her own pregnancy and lying to her family, claiming that she and her boyfriend were expecting a baby boy. Nadine even went so far as to arrange her own baby shower. Eventually, when her due date came closer and she still didn't have a baby in hand, Nadine spun another lie, claiming her child had been taken away. She was desperate to keep up her lie and eventually convinced her 19-year-old cousin, Tolapapa, to help her retrieve the baby. According to lawyers, Tolapapa was under the impression that she was helping Nadine get her own baby back. Nadine was sentenced to 3 years in prison for her role in the crime, while her cousin was released without conviction. The Hidden Trap House in Northern California. Hidden rooms and secret entryways are all fun and games in escape rooms or video games. But in real homes with zero backstory and suspicious-looking items, they hit very differently. Take the case of a cleaner in rural Northern California who had a job revamping a very odd-looking house in the middle of nowhere. What started as a routine cleaning job turned into a nightmare when they stumbled upon multiple hidden rooms in the house they were assigned to work on. Not knowing how to process the situation, they shared the entire experience in a Facebook group listing some pretty eerie details. According to the cleaner, the house, built in 1941, had belonged to a single family until it was sold to the current owner. The visible parts of the house didn't scream haunted or crime scene. Sure, the decor was chaotic and the interior of the house was uncoordinated, but nothing raised any alarms until they discovered the first hidden room. It was completely concealed beneath the master bedroom floor, hidden behind a nailed-down, massively heavy door. Opening it revealed a staircase leading to a room with handmade bunk beds and filthy mattresses. But that wasn't the worst of it. The room had cabinets in it and also an old wooden stove with contents in it, as suspicious as they come. Whatever the cleaner found in the stove was so disturbing that they immediately contacted law enforcement. They didn't disclose what they saw, but some speculate it could have been human remains or something equally sinister, given how quickly the police got involved. It didn't end there. More hidden rooms were uncovered in the attic, featuring similar bunk beds and cabinets. None of the rooms had plumbing or electricity, adding to the unsettling vibe. The case gained attention in 2020, but has since gone cold. The original Facebook post including a chilling comment from another user warning others to stay away from the property, entirely considering how the area was known for being a hotspot for suspicious activities and active cults. Delphi murders. What started as an ordinary day in Delphi, Indiana, took a tragic turn on February 13, 2017, that left an entire tight-knit community broken and scared. Abigail Williams and Liberty German were two average teenagers with big dreams and a whole lot to give to the world. They were the best of friends and were known to be joined at the hip at all times. Like every other normal teenager, one day in the afternoon of February 13th, Liberty and Abigail decided to take a short trip to the local trails they had known since they were children. Throughout their little excursion, the girls were being kept an eye on by family through social media, which showed that they were posting and being active until 3 p.m. Unfortunately, when Libby's grandfather went to pick them up from their trip at 4 p.m., they had failed to show up. Initially, their absence did not raise too many alarms in their family's heads, since they were, after all, teens, and being a little late wouldn't matter much. However, when a considerable time had passed and they still hadn't managed to appear, they were finally reported missing and a massive search was underway. What seemed like a normal teenage disappearance took a turn for the worse when, tragically, Abigail and Liberty's bodies were discovered near the Monon High Bridge Trail in Delphi Historical Trails. This sent the entire tight-knit community into shock. The only evidence police had was a video from one of the girls' phones that showed a man walking towards them and saying, "Down the hill." For years, despite thousands of tips and witness statements, the case remained unsolved. However, the investigation gained new momentum in 2022 when a man named Richard Allen was taken into custody. Allen, who had reportedly been on the trails the same day as the girls, claimed he was there to watch the fish. He was seen wearing clothing resembling that of the man in the video, and one very critical piece of evidence linked him to the crime. A .40 caliber unspent round was found near the girl's body at the initial crime scene, and investigators managed to match it to the gun owned by Allen. Witnesses also reported seeing his truck parked near the trails that day. Richard Allen was ultimately charged with the murders of Abigail Williams and Liberty German. Mysterious doll on the river. The discovery of a massive doll floating in the Rio Grande River has left locals and internet users baffled. What made the incident truly unsettling was the state of the doll. It was wrapped in a sack made to resemble a corpse and was eerily oversized. The doll was initially brought up in a Reddit post. The original poster talked about the doll's grotesque features and an apparition in the very fire it was burned in. The most disturbing details were its claw-like bony fingers, large beady eyes, and a gaping mouth that gave it an eerie, lifelike appearance. This was no ordinary toy. Naturally, the Reddit post sparked a wave of theories. Some leaned towards the supernatural, claiming it was a demon in disguise.